to the book festers of spring 2024. I cannot tell you how happy I am that you're here with us this weekend for this incredible event. Where else do we get to come together as a tribe, as a people that love books, that love to read, that have read our entire lives, that have made it a place in our soul? And now we have an event that we get to gather and discuss the place in our soul where the books live and the literature lives. Now, I myself am an uncommon author. I have a unique life that had nothing to do with writing until very late in my journey. I started writing in spring of 2022. And what I want to tell you is anybody can start to write whenever they choose. It's not about the timing as far as where you are in your years. It's about the timing about where you are in your true self. So, I know so many of you out there have so much to give. So, I am here to inspire you, especially during the season of spring with this book fest event. So, I recently wrote an article for this special edition of the Relatable Voice magazine, which is for the Spring Book Fest. And the name of the article is Embracing the Spirit of the Seed. You may wonder where I'm going with that. So, I've been working with Black Chateau Enterprises over the past year to promote my 31 books that I wrote for children, my nursery rhymes, and I've been doing a lot of interviews. One of the main questions I get is what advice would I give to the listeners who might want to start their own journey in writing or really, I feel, any creative endeavor? The answer that I end up giving most of the time is not to discard the seed. And when I say the seed, I'm talking about just a little hint of something that comes into your awareness. It may not be a big idea. In fact, it likely won't. It will likely be small. Just if you picture a pack of seeds, how teeny the seeds are in that packet. But pay attention, no matter how small, to that seed. Make note of it, jot it down, do a voice memo, go back and water it. Also, let it see the light of day. My article about embracing the spirit of the seed is about when the seed is in the ground. What drives it? What motivates it? It's in the dark. It's in the ground. How is it motivated? And how does it have the energy to push upwards through the dark, not even knowing what awaits it once it breaks through the ground? I really relate to that seed. I put myself in its skin and I think about the times where I felt I was in the dark and I needed to push through and gather up energy and motivation and strength, not knowing what was awaiting when I broke ground. And I wonder if you can imagine that with me and what that might mean to you. Once the seed for me broke ground, it resulted in 31 nursery rhymes for children. Who knows what seed will grow from you once it pushes through the dirt? We admire what has already broken through. We get to see the result of what the seed did in the journey. But what we miss is where it's been planted and how it has to get to that surface. Why not look at this natural, organic strategy and embrace it ourselves in any creative endeavor that we might be doing. That is the perfect way to start off the spring book fest. I'm just so grateful that we have a community that loves, lives, and thrives in the world of literature. I think of where would we be without literature and how important it is for it to continue to grow and for writers to listen to their inner self through their experiences, through what they've been through in their lives, and use it to come through with either messages or lessons that can benefit others. What better way to spend our time? I especially have my eye on our children. It is so important for them to have literature that entertains them first and foremost, so that they love to read, but then also has layers and is also a launch pad for discussions. Just like the seed and the plant that breaks through. That's what books and literature are meant to do in families, in libraries, in schoolrooms, in hospitals, all these places where our children are and that need inspiration and joy, just like springtime and just like the book fest. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about my journey, only because I feel like it can give advice to somebody who's just starting out or somebody who's already been doing the work and is looking for maybe a fresh perspective. I say, bring forth what you have inside. Establish what I call internal and external quiet. And external quiet is interesting because it's the idea of a quarterback in a noisy football field. How do they focus? So it's not exactly about your situation being quiet, it's about your ability to get quiet, even whatever the external situation is, and listen to the internal voice, your true self that wants to speak. And it does. That's what I learned through my 55 years on the planet. When you go through experiences, they create situations in your system that you can either learn from or that you can let overwhelm you. If you're able to ground yourself, quiet yourself, and get down to the basis of who you are, I know those experiences can turn into magic. Whether it's literature, whether it's painting and drawing, whether it's in how you play, how you spend your time away from work, whether it's being out in nature and collecting leaves or just observing the sunlight coming through the trees. That's what I do. And that's how I'm inspired to write. I write poetry that I convert into nursery rhymes, but I'm also working on an adult contemporary poetry book right now. So there is no end to where that seed can take you. I do like to say, did the seed know it would become a giant sequoia? Now I understand, I think it's actually an acorn, but that's not the point. The point is, did it know? I don't think it did. I think it had some trust in itself, trust in the universe. That's what is necessary for us to flourish. And if I can do it, so can you. I did not study writing. I did not go to school for it. And yet here I am, writing and publishing. There is a way for you to know what's on your heart. And there's a way to witness it and honor it. And it doesn't have to be a gigantic commitment. In fact, let's not make it a gigantic commitment. Let's make it just a little seed that needs a little water and a little light. Because from there, a forest can grow. And imagine what fun can be had in a forest, an enchanted one. I just like to share how I feel about creation, positive energy, and my wish for everybody here, whoever hears my voice, is that it reaches them and it cheers them and it gives them hope and it gives them energy and it gives them motivation because that is what the book fest is all about.